Welcome to the Credit Score course. Let's start with Module 1, Credit Score History. While the concept of lending and credit has been around for over 5,000 years, the concept of a credit score is a relatively recent invention. In the past, shopkeepers would give credit to people they knew, but as time went on, financial transactions became more complex. More people and businesses needed funds to grow, and there was no easy way to determine who was creditworthy and who was not. This ushered in an era of gathering data on those looking for credit to help lenders make better decisions. In the early days, consumer credit reporting was being handled by multiple companies in order to address the ongoing major issues of consistent collecting, sharing, and interpreting financial data. A couple of companies emerged as leaders, and they collected not just financial information, but also data on individuals' social, political, and sexual lives. But issues continued to plague these early credit reporting companies. Data privacy and bias continued to create havoc with consumers and in the business industry. This came to a head with the passage of the Fair Credit Reporting Act in 1970. This required bureaus to open their files to the public, expunge data on race, sexuality, and disability, and delete negative information after a period of time. The goal of this act was to help consumers take control of their credit data. The next step in the process was to fix how to interpret all the mounds of data coming from so many different sources and turn that data into helpful information for lenders making credit decisions. The slowly shrinking number of companies, now with names we've all come to know like Equifax and Experian, began working with a technology company to develop an algorithm which would process this data. That company was Fair Isaac & Company, known today as FICO, and the FICO credit score was born. Fair Isaac & Company, otherwise known as FICO, developed an algorithm to process credit data and create a credit score ranging from 300 to 850, which in conjunction with your credit history gives lenders a good picture of your creditworthiness. The goal of the FICO score is to have a fair way of managing and reporting credit history. Credit scores are used to help businesses determine who is a good credit risk. If you want to buy a house, car, or boat and need to take out a loan, the lender will pull your credit score to see if you qualify for a loan. If you want to apply for a new credit card or a store credit card, your credit score will be checked, as a credit card is really just like a small loan. Poor credit scores will either make you ineligible for a loan or credit card, or only qualify you one with a high interest rate. Your credit score also affects other aspects of your life, including what you will pay for car insurance, so it is good to start off on the right foot with a good credit rating. Believe it or not, your income level does not affect your credit score. Someone making $40,000 a year can have a much higher credit score than someone making $200,000 a year. Because credit is not about who can repay their debts, but who will choose to. In conclusion, credit has been around a long time, and FICO has now standardized the methodology of creditworthiness. Credit scores determine if you are eligible for loans and credit cards. They even determine the rates. And finally, income does not impact credit scores. Being willing to pay your bills does.